Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Aging and Strong. I'm your host, Steve Molloy. Make sure as you're coming into the chat, you hit that like button. If you're new to this channel, please hit that bell down there, that subscribe button down there. Share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. So tonight we got a good show. It's going to be short and sweet, maybe 20, 30 minutes at the most. I'm going to talk to you about coming back from a layoff uh, for your strength training, right? So if you're strength training, you're coming back off of a layoff, a week, 2 weeks, whatever the layoff might be, the longer, of course, it's going to take a little more time to catch up to where you were at when you took the layoff. But these principles that I'm about to give you today, which are very, very practical, just common sense principles that, you can use them for type of any type of workout, right? If you're a bike rider, if you're a jogger, if you're a walker, whatever kind of conditioning program, whatever it might be, you can use these principles. But first, before I get on with the show, I just want to let you know, make sure you check out the show from last Sunday. I had Austin Trout on here. He was light middleweight World Boxing Association champion, and he's presently the bare knuckle champion in the welterweight division. He will be going up another weight class in the bare knuckle division, or bare knuckle arena, and he is going to be trying to get another world championship in bare knuckle boxing. So make sure you check him out in that podcast I had with him. We had some technical difficulties, but once he popped up and we were talking some good information. It was the day after the Canelo and Terrence Crawford fight, and he was actually at the fight in Vegas. He's also training, and he is also training someone else who's preparing for a bare knuckle fight as well. A female, can't remember his name, but her name. But if you go back and check the episode, enjoy. And it was really nice little conversation we had with him. And I'll be doing that from time to time. I'm going to keep it focused on aging and strong, the 50 plus population, but there'll be some surprises every now and then, like the boxing and maybe some other things. Whatever comes up, I'm going to present on here, and just to change the pace a little bit and do something a little different. Maybe, you might enjoy that. You might request more of it, whatever it might be. So anyway, let's get on with the show. So coming back from a layoff, okay, if you're strength training, let's focus on that primarily right now. If you are strength training, if you're trying to get strong, and especially if you're an older aging population, this is going to certainly apply to you more so than as opposed to the younger, although it can apply to male, female, and the younger population as well, these core principles. But keep in mind, this can be for if you're a cycler, if you're a runner, if you play tennis, whatever it might be after a layoff, right? So I'm going to use myself as an example because I've just came back off a layoff, and I'll tell you what I do for strength training. Now, this can be for bodybuilding, and it also can be for powerlifting as well, okay? Keep that in mind. So I was gone for 2 weeks. I was visiting family in Virginia, and I did a lot of walking. I did walking every day. Did not do any body weight exercises, any calisthenics, anything like that. Basically, I just walked, did not do any strength training, right? Didn't really feel like going to a gym, and didn't, I was busy, right, with family. So it took a lot of my time, and I enjoy being with family. So, and especially my grandkids and my grandsons and my granddaughter. So I got to play with them and be with them and all that good stuff. But so I was there for 2 weeks. I came back, and previous to those 2 weeks, I was visiting in Florida with family as well, and we were there for 10 days. So when I came back from that 10-day trip, I also applied these principles as well, except the duration of the trip wasn't quite as extended as this last one. It was 2 weeks. So what I did, all right, very simple, and it depends on basically where you're at in your training. If you're more of a beginner, if you're more somewhere in between, like intermediate, that can be anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3 years. And then we could say advanced is beyond 3 to 4 years, right? All right. So at each of those stages, it's going to be a little different. And of course, age plays a factor. Okay. Keep that in mind. For me, being that I'm an older gentleman, I came back and came back on a Saturday. And that next day, I decided, I'm going to go ahead and start up my training again. Right. So what I did was, on each of the exercises that I perform, okay, I uh, I lessened the weight on the bar by 10%. That's it. I lessened the weight on the bar by 10%. Some people might be able to get away with 5%. Some people may have to be, maybe if you're older and you're a beginner, you might have to lessen the weight maybe a little more, maybe 20%, maybe 15%. It is all based on the individual. Okay. For me, it was 10%. I felt comfortable getting back, um, into my exercise routine, my training, by lessening the weight by 10%. So I did that, continued to do the same exercises, again, just with less weight. So let's see, I've been back almost 2 weeks now. So the first week, I kept it at about 10% less weight. Now, going on my second week, I went on ahead and I raised or added maybe 5 pounds on the bar, 5 pounds, right? So for me, that's where I'm comfortable at. Maybe you all can do 10 pounds, maybe you have to do less. Again, it's all based on individual age and all that, and in what stage in the training that you're at. Um, I would consider myself more advanced training. I've been training for 6, almost 7 years now, consistently. So I would consider myself advanced. And don't get it all wrong either. Okay, just because you're advanced, okay, doesn't mean or doesn't equate to how much weight you're lifting. Okay, to a degree it does, but some guys, some gals, they may be lifting 100 more pounds than me or 100 pounds less than me, but it doesn't matter. It's the stage that you're at. Your genetics will dictate, right, at what level you are. Okay. Some people may go as a beginner program. They may work up to, give you an example, a squat. They may start off with just the bar, 45-pound Olympic bar, right? They may work in 3 months. They may work up to 200 pounds, right? Some folks might work up to 300 pounds. Okay. So it just all depends on the individual and their genetics. And then from there, then you've got to make your adjustments, slightly, very little adjustments. You don't have to change the whole program. You might just maybe cut back on one exercise or cut back a set. There's many things that you can do to accomplish that. But that's it. That's the core principles, right? And this you can apply this along the line to any type of routine, right? Even bicycling. Let's say you're bicycling 25, 30 miles, 2, 3 times a week. Well, you might cut it back to once times a week or 2 times a week, maybe 15 miles, right? And then they gradually work up to it. Because we all have muscle memory, right? We all have muscle memory. Now, I will tell you this. So getting back to muscle memory, basically you're going to gain that, you're going to gain back to where you were at a quicker pace, right? Now, conditioning, you're going to lose conditioning a lot quicker than you will strength training, than getting stronger and lifting weights. Your muscles are not going to, you're not going to lose a lot of muscle mass if you don't work out for, a couple weeks, especially if you've been consistent and you've been working out for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, right? You're not, and even if you're older, you're not going to lose that much. You can retain a lot of your strength, even at an older age, for a longer time, longer period than you can if you are doing cardio or any kind of conditioning like that. You can fall out of condition in a week, right? In a week or two, and you have to start way back from the beginning. But the key is you can get back to conditioning again in 3, 4 weeks. You're back to where you were at if you're consistent with it. So that's the key, guys, especially as we aging, right? As aging gracefully, right? That's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you don't come back. Number one, you'll find out that, let's say you were doing a deadlift of 200 pounds, right? Let's just say that. When after you've taken a 2 week layoff, you might come back and you might try to do that 200 again, and you're not going to be able to. I would say 70 to 80% of the time, you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to lift that weight again. Whether it was 3 reps or 5 reps, you may get 2, you may get 1. You may not even be able to lift it off the floor. It just all depends on you, the individual. But yeah, so what's the best advice I can give, and from experience and what a lot of the experts, we've had Andy Baker on here, was starting strength. He's been in the business for 20 years. He's done bodybuilding, he's done strength training. Catch those episodes as well. Andy Baker. He's written a book along with Jonathan Sullivan called Barbell Prescription. They collaborated together, and they'll tell you the same thing. If you are taking a layoff, come back, slow and smooth and consistent, and you'll get back to where you were at. Okay. And it all depends on the individual of how much weight you're going to take off the bar. But let's say 200 pounds, going back to the example. So let's say you take off 10% of 200 pounds, that's 20 pounds. So you go to 180, you might, whatever rep scheme you were using, me, doing starting strength and an older guy, I'm going to do 3 to 5 reps. Okay. Any more than that, and you can do it, and some folks can do it, but eventually it's going to catch up with you. Okay. That's just too much for old bones and old tendons and things of that nature. That's just too much. The repetition of 8 and 10 and 12 reps, it's just too much. It eventually catch up with you. You're going to get burnt out. You really will. I don't know if any of you have experienced that, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so you go to 180, and then say the next week you come back, you might bump it up 5 pounds, 185. It may take you 3 to 4 weeks to get back where you're at, but if you're consistent, you'll get there, and you get back to where you started, and then you can continue to progress. Okay. But again, it depends on what stage you're at. If you're a beginner, if you're an intermediate, or if you're advanced, and it depends on your genetics, and all that good stuff, how long you've been lifting, and age. Age plays a factor. Younger, you may come back and you may not lose much of your strength at all, right? But definitely an older person is going to lose a little strength. That's just the inevitable. It's a fact of life. I hope that helps. I hope that gets the message across. I hope some of you, if you are strength training, I hope you are, right? Please, if you take a layoff, don't worry. When you come back, you'll be able to get back on pace if you follow that general program and core principles that I just laid out for you. And you should be good to go. You should be good to go. As I said, I'm going to do this short and sweet today. There's not much more I did want to talk about tonight. I mean, that's pretty straight and to the point, and sometimes that's all we need, straight and to the point, and nothing more to add to that. Uh, but I will say this: uh, we will have more guests on here. Again, I've said this many times over and over. I plan on having a renowned heart doctor on here. He's still he's in the midst of writing a book, and I haven't gotten back in contact with him. But he said as soon as he's about finished with that book, he would come on, and it would be appropriate time for him to come on because then we can market that book and all that. Not that he would need a lot of marketing from this channel, but every little bit helps. Like I said, he's very renowned, he's established, and we'll talk about all kinds of different things for older folks, as far as lab work, blood work, and heart conditions, cholesterol, proper diet, or things of that nature. It's going to be very, very interesting. And then I have another gentleman I'd like to get on. I haven't really reached out to him yet, but I have been in contact with him, but I haven't informed him or asked him whether or not he would like to come on the show. I love to get him on. He's an older gentleman as well, been around the martial arts, self defense slash boxing bare knuckle for 51 years. He's from the Jersey area. He's been to Gleason's Gym in New York and all those other uh, great places up there in the Northeast, where all the old school boxers used to hang out, and some of the younger guys nowadays, right? So we'll get into a little bit of that. We'll get into a little bit about self-defense, and for older folks, how they should condition and train for self-defense and boxing, and things like that. It should be an interesting show as well. Um, but yeah, that's all I had tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciated you for joining. Make sure that wherever platform you're at, come over here, hit that like button. Please hit that like button. We need those likes so we can get all the notifications to everyone that would like this type of information. Again, this is called Aging and Strong, catering more to the 50 plus community, but a lot of the younger generation folks, they can benefit from this too. Okay? I hope you enjoyed the program tonight. I'll be on again next Friday at 7 p.m. And I hope that you join. And God bless and get strong.